Hi, I'm Dr. Joanne Langham, and I'll be talking to you today about the evaluate phase of the DIE design method. The evaluate phase is used to test and improve the ideas and designs that have been generated out of the previous two phases. When evaluating your design, you should always try to use people who would be real users of your product to test your concepts and how they work. The evaluate phase is also not a feedback session. Your job is to road test the idea and watch how people interact and use the tool, product, or service. It is not a process to determine if someone likes your design. Design evaluation is often confused with market testing or opinion-based research. Understanding whether someone likes your product is used for marketing and advertising. As designers, we are interested in the effectiveness of the design and whether the user can achieve the tasks in their experience. When conducting user evaluation work, you are looking to see if you have the logic of the activity or the activities themselves correct and discover any potential fail points. Based on the way the users perform the tasks, you make decisions about where and how to modify your design. There are a number of techniques that can be used to evaluate products or services, either when still in development or when a design is live. These are usability walkthroughs, usability testing, and heuristic or expert evaluations. Usability walkthroughs and usability evaluation use the product or service to be tested, a scenario, and require the participants to act out or walk through the activities using the tools involved as if it was real use. When evaluating a service, this often involves multiple steps and using a combination of products, so this may also be called a simulation. Creating a simulation or usability test requires you to plan out the testing process in the same way that you would to understand and map the design. It is a similar activity to planning a dinner party. You need to know who is coming, where they will be sitting, and what they will be eating and drinking. In your simulation, you will also have multiple steps and roles that people must play. If it's a product simulation or usability test, it may require simple logistics and testing. You may use a laboratory with two-way mirrors, or you may conduct the testing informally around a table. The simulation may also involve real props and multiple participants. The more real life you can make the process, the closer the test will be to determine whether your design is robust enough to cope with any unexpected events that occur when you go live or when your design is implemented. When evaluating your design, you should ensure that you use different kinds of scenarios. There should be at least one common, or what I call 80% scenario. This scenario should account for the common activities and be a test of the core functionality of your product or service. You should also have at least one complex or unusual case scenario. This is one that should test some of the functions that need to support error prevention with your product or service. For example, with a computer or a digital product, what happens if the user or participant is interrupted during the process? Can they save? What if the power is cut? Do they lose everything that they have already done? Think of as many things that can go wrong when using your product and service. Some of these should be included in your evaluation. The other part of your evaluation is understanding whether what you have designed is good. What does it even mean that your design is good? Do not make the mistake of defining the criteria for evaluation after you have completed your design. Evaluation of your design should not begin at the end of the process. This is where many projects or programs go wrong. Evaluation starts right at the beginning, during planning. This is also why the DIE design method is depicted as a wheel or a cycle. Evaluation occurs in a cyclic manner and at different levels of complexity. At the beginning of the design process, you need to identify critical design features. What are the features that your design must have so that the experience does not fail? You must also identify the consequences if things go wrong with your experience, and then ensure that these are accounted for in your design. Do not leave these things until the evaluation to define. For product design, there are criteria for use or usability heuristics. Common criteria are like these ones developed by Jacob Nielsen. I have also created a set of heuristics that can be used universally for design projects, called the XE or Experience Effectiveness Heuristics. These can be used to also develop measurable evaluation criteria. To learn more about applying the XE evaluation approach, please watch my XE evaluation videos on my YouTube channel. To evaluate your design, you must also differentiate between efficiency and effectiveness. Many evaluation measures are focused at efficiency. Efficiency is important. It helps you understand whether the means by which you achieve your outcome is done with minimal waste. However, it does not tell you whether your outcome is good. Effectiveness is about the outcome. Did you achieve your original outcome? What is the impact of that outcome? Are there any unintended consequences? Put simply, effectiveness is doing what you said you would do. Efficiency is doing this as quickly and cheaply as possible. This can be seen in the program logic model. The program logic model shows the general steps required to achieve a program. Goals are followed by inputs to achieve the program. Inputs are then used to create the activities. Activities produce outputs. Outcomes are derived from the outputs of a program. Efficiency is the difference between inputs and outputs, whereas effectiveness is the difference between goals and outcomes. Looking at an example, we can see how this might apply in this particular situation. The goal is to solve a problem. Inputs into the process are stakeholders, requirements, an understanding of the problem, costing, and resources. Activities are then conducted, such as workshops and other project support. Outputs include the prototype solutions. The outcome is the improved solution. The question then is, was the problem solved? Evaluation requires a commitment to ensure that you are designing something that will make an improvement. You should also be considering all of the direct and indirect consequences of your actions. Evaluation is also conducted to improve the product and the process. Therefore, it should not be done only as an activity at the end of the process. There is no way to easily or cost-effectively make improvements after a product or service is delivered. To be successful, set the goals early that are realistic and achievable. Determine success measures early and establish baseline data before you start. Put mechanisms in place to ensure that you can also access data at the time when you will need it. Most importantly, make sure that when you get feedback and people take time to be involved in testing and evaluating your design, that you use it. Evaluation is a tool for improvement, not a sign of failure.